Today we have stepmom from Oklahoma again. This is part two. She was on podcast episode 146. So that
Mhm.
was 200 weeks ago.
Four
So,
years ago.
yeah, so tell us what's going on with you.
Well, we since the podcast, it's been about 9 months as of June of 2025 that I ended up moving to we ended up starting living apart. And back in September, I ended up getting my own place. And then we recently just closed on our house that we sold.
Okay. So
Yes.
you got married.
Yes.
You have a daughter
Yes.
who you had every other weekend or every other week. I can't
It
remember.
was every other weekend. It was 60-40
Okay.
between her and my ex. Yes.
And then he pretty much had his son all the time.
Yes. Yes.
And things weren't going too good.
No, they were not.
And that is not from lack of effort on your part.
I don't
We
feel it.
we know that.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah. Because you were in the academy, you showed up for the calls. I mean, you did a lot to try to make that work.
Yes. And we actually talked to Laura Petherbridge
Hmm.
several times.
Yeah. So what was the straw that broke the camel's back to when you decided to move out?
Well, so back in January of 2024, I'll go back a little bit, but it was the time back in, I think it was about 2022, about a year after we got married. His mom decided that she didn't want to pick him up every other weekend. And my husband was in total agreement with that. And honestly did not, I honestly had a problem with that because, back I was telling you before that I would enjoy those every other weekends just with me and my husband. And so every 12 days I was looking forward to those every other weekends.
Hmm.
And and then it just stopped. And I understand we've talked about, you want your kids whenever you could have them. And I feel the same way with my daughter. But there was just, for me, there was no good justifiable reason why he couldn't go to his mom's 4 days a month. And part of that could be a control thing. I don't know, but I just felt like it kind of affected our marriage. So that was the first part. And
Hmm.
then the second part was back in January 2024. So I would hang out in my study all the time, the she shed.
Hmm.
That's what I call it. And so there was a few times where whenever my husband wasn't around, he was either sleeping after work or he wasn't around. And my stepson a few times started making some inappropriate comments toward me. For example, we have the same birthday. His was the 23rd of January and mine's the 24th. So we were a day
Hmm.
apart. And there was one time where he came in the study. He just walked in. I was just doing my thing, and he came in and gave me a present, which it was a ring. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's cool." I mean, I'm thinking we're making some headway, and
Hmm.
because me not doing, it's helped with us, even though I'm disengaged from the situation from having to parent him and stuff.
Hmm.
And so he gave me the ring, but then after he said that, he asked me if I wanted a back massage. Granted, he's 16 years old. He just turned 16. And it kind of caught me off guard. And I said, "What do you mean? Like you give me a back massage?" And then he said, "Yes." And I said, well, yeah, that really caught me off guard,
Yeah.
obviously. And then I said, "Well, your dad gave me a gift card for a massage place, so I'm going to go ahead and use that." And
Hmm.
I just made a note of that. I didn't tell my husband at the time what happened at that time.
Hmm.
And I actually told my mom and my friend because I'm like,
You
what
had to
is
tell
going on?
somebody.
I had to tell somebody, and I told Facebook too on the
Yeah.
Nacho Kids Podcast. Um,
Now let
Go
me.
ahead.
Your stepson is on the spectrum.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted
He's
to.
mild.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
And I'll talk about that in a second about
Okay,
that. But so it was the next. So what happened was I didn't say anything about it, and then that following week, well, okay, I'll backtrack. So like a few days before that, well, he started. He would take a shower, and so his bedroom is right across from the kids' bathroom,
hmm
and so I opened the door to the study, and he is standing there naked. I know, deer in the headlights, right?
yeah.
And he just stood there, and I shut the door fast, and I was like, "What?" And he said, "I'm so sorry, Laura. I'm so sorry, Laura." And I'm like, "Okay, like okay, maybe it was just an accident, just one
Yeah,
mistake." And
because you
I'm
don't want to think it was intentional, right?
right. And so I didn't tell my husband at that time because I thought maybe it was just something that happened
hmm
one time. It's just, I don't want to get him in trouble and stuff. So, well, fast forward to the following week, he comes in my study again, the study room, the room that my she shed, and he gives me this. He starts telling me stuff like, "Well, I like to run because you like to work out and run and stuff." It just automatically, he just randomly just said that, and I was just like,
Right.
"Okay," and I thought, "Oh, okay." Well, he starts giving me a hug, and then he touches my one of my boobs. I know you might have to this disclaimer.
Yeah.
um, and so I was like, "What?" It just
And I
shocked
know in
me.
your head you're like, did that just happen?
Yes. Was I just
It,
imagining?
yeah, did I just imagine that? And then you got part of your brain going, did I just imagine that? And the other part's going, no, you did not imagine it.
Right.
It
Yeah.
happened.
That's exactly what was going through my mind, Lori.
Yeah.
That same thing. And so so I was in shock. I ended up telling my mom. And, I told my mom, I was like, well, maybe it's because of the autism. And my mom said, you know what? And this is, I still remember when she told me that. She said, Laura, I taught severe profound. Kids with have cognitive delay, significant. They know not to do that kind of stuff. And so
Yeah.
that got me like, okay, well, I'm not making excuses
Yep.
anymore. And I should know that. I mean, a lot of kids I work in the special ed field. A
Right.
lot of
But
kids
it's your
just go in and grab
stepson.
that.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I didn't tell him right away. He was actually sleeping in the other room. Because he likes to sleep in the evening time after work. And so for me, it seems convenient that things just happen whenever he's not around, my
hmm
husband.
Of course.
Um, so when I went to work out the next day and I came home, and of course my husband's at Walmart, he's somewhere else. Come in, and then I go out to get the mail. It's like he knows I was in there. He saw me coming in the house, and so he knew I was there. Well, I went out to get the mail for a second. I come back in. He's walking across the living room, start naked. That's when I don't want to say a snap, but I just like, what
Right.
are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I said, I went back to my she shed and just was like, I need to talk to my mom. I need to talk to somebody about this because
Right.
well, come later on, I ended up talking to my husband about it. I don't think and I probably should have handled this more appropriately as well, but I just told him, I said, this is what's going on. And the fact that was a straw for me was that he, to this day, doesn't seem to believe me about it. He's saying that I just, my son said he didn't do it, he didn't mean to, and so that's what really bothers me is the fact that he didn't take what I said seriously.
And I
Because he
get
says,
that
I
100%.
know,
But also as a parent, you can understand. What if your daughter was telling you something that your husband's saying the opposite, right? It's like,
correct. I get it.
who do you believe? And it's, you don't
Hmm.
want to call either one a liar.
Right.
And, but at the same time, you would think that your husband, being an adult, would be like,
Hmm.
she wouldn't make this crap up or she
Right.
wouldn't exaggerate it.
Yeah, and she like he knew that I had a problem with him being there all the time, and I think he kind of was focused on that so
Mm-hmm.
much. He's like, well, maybe she'll say anything to,
Yep.
and that's absolutely not true. I wouldn't even, not even my worst enemy, I would never throw somebody on the bus if that wasn't true when it comes to stuff like sexual stuff, touching, and I would never
Right.
do that. And she knows that, and it just really got me,
Yeah.
really bothered me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what just kind of deteriorated in our living situation for another year until I just said, I just can't do it anymore. So,
But y'all were still together.
uh-huh. We're still together. Yeah. It's a
So
little
you're married but living separately.
correct. Yeah, we see each other about every other week if we're both working, if we're off, because we're educators. Probably in the summertime we'll see each other more, but yeah, that's kind of our situation right now.
So how far away are you from him?
Right now, I'm about 30 minutes away.
Oh, okay. So you're not around the block.
No, not around the block. It's kind of complicated because his brother was going to move to Oklahoma from California with a job. Well, that
Mhm.
didn't job thing work. He didn't work after he bought the house. So I guess conveniently for my husband, he said it somehow worked. This is back in June when we decided just to live apart, and I stayed at the house while he ended up renting from his brother. And so um, yeah, the timing was kind of weird, but yeah, it kind of, I mean, I won't say worked out that way, but that's just how
Right.
it happened.
Well, let me ask you this, and you know I'm not good for sugarcoating things.
All right, go ahead.
The fact that you felt like your husband didn't believe you.
hmm
What made you stay in the relationship? Because I know a lot of people listening to this are
hmm
thinking, well, if he didn't believe you, why didn't you just get divorced? Like, why are you
Right.
going through all these hoops? And it's obviously
Yeah.
because you love your husband.
Yeah.
Again, we saw the work that you put into this,
hmm
to try to get this blend to blend, right? Or
Right.
to at
Correct.
least not drive everybody crazy.
hmm
What is
Yeah.
your thought process on that?
Well,
Mhm.
like you said, I still love him. He, now I ask myself that too. I mean, because there's just a lot of other things that we are good with each other on. He's just I don't my question is why did I stay for another year in the house after that happened? I guess that's a question I always end up asking myself and I can't have a hard time answering that question.
Well, I
There was
think
a
a
lot
lot of
of
times it's
bigger
because you're paralyzed.
right. I think that's an answer I can give. That's the best answer I can give at this point. Because
Right.
I was numb and
Well,
yeah.
and you have to uproot your life. Like somebody has to find a new house, right?
hmm
It's not as simple as, oh, I'm living with my mom, you're living with your dad, and we're dating and we're breaking up. It's not that
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
And also, we know after your first marriage splits up, you try harder with that second one because you don't want to have another failed relationship.
Well, there you go. You read my mind.
Because you start
That's
taking it personally, like, okay, it's me.
uh
Something's wrong with me.
yeah. And I talked to my therapist about it, and um, I I wish we went to more couples counseling, but he's kind of stubborn when it comes to that. I don't know. There's some things he just doesn't like to hear, what people say, and
There's a lot of things none of us
I
like to
know.
hear. It's called the truth.
I mean, that's just a journey. I mean, that's just one of those things. You can't sugarcoat it, or you can't put it under the rug, that kind of thing. You just can't
Yeah.
do it forever. Um, yeah, but I will say even though I did stay at that time, I was angry a lot.
Hmm.
I think it showed a lot whenever, there was situations where my husband and Will would be talking out loud and I'm trying to sleep and I just start yelling. I mean, I was ended up
Shut
doing
up.
I ended up doing some things that were not Nacho. I mean, I
Right.
will be honest with you. I sent a nasty message to Will's mom. I
Oh,
know.
wow.
Not Nacho. I will confess with that. Just because I was just angry with everything. I was angry that she wasn't taking him and all these problems were happening. And of course I wanted to blame. if I can't blame my husband, I got to blame the ex or,
Right.
just, and it's like I'm realizing, well, he's a big problem in this situation. He's a very big problem.
Yeah.
Um,
But in his defense, y- as a bio parent, if my son didn't want to go to, or if my son's dad didn't want to get him, I'm not going to make him go somewhere that he's
right.
not wanted,
Yeah.
And we had even talked when you were in the academy about how maybe some of your anger or resentment towards stepkid was because you didn't have your kid all the time.
Yeah.
And he's just a reminder that you don't have your kid.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the little things that he would just do. I mean, I know it's just kids or kid, it's just, but it was just his little things. It just was bottling up inside me. And my mental health, I was drinking more alcohol. I was working out. I was, you know, I'm gonna just confess that since all this, we've lived apart for 9 months now. After, my mental health is a lot better. I've lost 25 pounds. I don't drink probably 5% of the time. I mean, I
All
just
right. Don't
don't.
talk about losing weight because then I'll think I need to leave David so I can lose
Okay.
weight.
Well, and then the menopause doesn't help. I was
Oh,
going
good
through all
Lord
that. So
Jesus.
that there
Oh,
you go. There you
yeah.
factor into that, and that's yeah. There's just a lot of stuff that I've been going through mentally, emotionally, physically, and
Yeah. We need to have a stepmoms going through menopause group.
oh, absolutely. The Gen X slash menopause
uh,
slash stepmom group.
Because it does hype up your senses, we'll say, as far as
Hmm.
because I've noticed like I'm on edge lately. And I don't like that. Even and not just with the stepkids, but
Oh,
anybody.
absolutely.
Like
Yep.
my dad will say something on the phone and I'm rolling my eyes the whole time. Like, why do you even care about that? And a month ago he could have said the same thing and it didn't bother me. So it's like, what in the
Yeah.
world? Yeah.
It's crazy. I know.
Yeah.
Menopause is real.
Yeah, it is.
But that's
So
yeah, that's another podcast.
yeah, that's another podcast. So when you stayed after all that happened, I'm sure you were on guard, like making sure you didn't run into the naked little boy running around the house, making
My
sure that
daughter,
yes, that's where I was going. Yeah.
that was the biggest thing that frustrated me was whenever I'd had her that weekend, I mean, I wouldn't say I was just like hanging on to her, but I was kind of like, if Bobby wasn't there or if it was just Will in the house, I wasn't going to leave her there.
No.
I wasn't going to do that. And that's
If I
what
were
bothered me
you, I wouldn't have
more.
been there with him by myself at all either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something you tried to avoid being there by yourself with him too?
Um, yeah, I tried to, but I just would just lock myself in the study. I actually was starting to lock the door. Isn't that crazy? I'm starting to lock
Yeah.
the door. I'm like, this is like I'm in prison. I mean, in my own house. I'm paying most of it for.
Yeah.
And you start getting resentment. You're like, I'm paying for this house. What am I doing? And
Right. Yeah. And then it
just,
spirals of why am I locking myself in this room and why is he leaving me here with his kid when I've told him this happened and why doesn't he believe that this happened? And yeah.
and then before you know it, I'm messaging his ex-wife that didn't probably didn't have anything to do about it. So
Yeah. It's
yeah, she loves
okay.
me now.
Things happen, right?
Yeah, she loves. I'm sure. I know we're gonna be great friends. No, I'm just
Y'all
kidding.
are. Y'all are gonna be buddies.
No.
Best buds for life.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the you say like if my kid didn't want to see, the other parent. Yeah, I get that. It's just for me, and I know it's a reminder that I don't have Katie, my daughter, all the time, but I just for me, it's kind of like why, you live 40 minutes away. Why can't you just, and that's a control thing for me. I get it because I struggled with this when I was talking to Laura Petherbridge, but why can't you just see him 4 days a week? There's no abuse, there's no like, why can't he just go there? Just it just frustrated me because I didn't have any
Mhm.
control of the situation.
Right. Yep. And it's
Yeah.
so hard when you don't have control.
Hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, I do think that with you, that it didn't help that you missed your daughter so much.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's a control thing, but it's also a help me understand thing. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you making more of an effort to make his mom take him?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
selfishly, It's not because you care about the kid and his relationship with mom. It's because you want a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's not like a break as in like I was parenting him. I need break from the dishes because he,
Right.
puts it not like that. It's just a break. I don't want him there. And
Yep.
that sounds so mean, but I don't want him there. I just
Because he was there all the time.
yeah, and then it got to, and I'm knowing noticing my husband was a problem because he lets him, oh, you can work out in the living room, you can play video games in the living room even though he has a bedroom, and
I
it's just
remember that
like yeah.
conversation. Yep.
Yeah, and it wasn't as bad after we had that conversation, but it got really frustrating because it's just like I can't even walk across the living room without him being in my way. It's just,
Right. It's
I
like he was
know, I'm so
always in your
mean.
face, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so he's in my
Which
face.
was a
Yeah,
reminder that your husband had guilty parent syndrome.
yeah. Oh yeah, but I mean, for me, I guess I try to understand that because I'm like, how do you have grit? And I know you've talked about this, Lori, because you said the same thing. I've listened to all your Nacho podcasts, but how can you have guilty parent syndrome when your kids is with you all the time? I guess I just have a hard time understanding that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. Um, and a lot of that falls back to his son doesn't have the family that he thought he would have. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of the guilt. But I don't know if you heard the podcast where I talked about a lot of my guilty parent syndrome comes from my mom.
Okay. Yes.
And
Yes. I
and
think this
you
was
know, it took me
Bobby.
a little while to realize that it's because I don't want my son to feel towards me like I felt towards my mom. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to go above and beyond
Yeah.
to make sure he
That's
doesn't feel that way.
yeah, and I always talk, Bobby's always talking about when he grew up, he's like, I never got to do this and that. His parents got divorced about when they were seven. He was like seven. But his parents just never took him to vacation. They never did all this stuff
Yeah.
with him. And he felt kind of deprived in a way, I
Yep.
would say he was. And I think
And
that's kind
yep.
of where he up. Yeah,
Yep.
I know.
That's where it's coming from. If it's not coming from our childhood, or if it's not coming from
Hmm.
splitting up, the divorce or whatever, then a lot of times it goes back to childhood.
Yeah. But it just, for me, it doesn't make it less frustrating for me. I guess when
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't. And it doesn't make it even less frustrating for the parent
yeah.
because, I remember kind of beating myself up because I felt like I should punish Jackson for something he did.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I didn't want to because he was getting ready to go to his dad's.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then when he came back, it's like, well, it's been 3 days.
Hmm.
You go through all this and it's like picking the lesser of two evils,
Hmm.
and you're so afraid that you're going to lose your son or
Hmm.
your husband. He may not be afraid
I was gonna
that
say he shouldn't be afraid of that.
he might not be afraid that the son's going to go live with mom, but
No.
maybe just the connection that they have.
Hmm.
If your husband didn't have a close relationship with his dad, then he's probably wanting to make sure he has a good relationship with his son because he wants his son to have that.
Yeah, and I understand that. I totally understand that.
But still, it don't make it easier for you at all.
No, and that's like I said, the straw thing was whenever he touched me. When my stepson touched me, and he was like, "Well, okay, well that's what it." He told me no.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I do work I've worked in a high school and I worked in middle school, and I'll tell you this, there's a lot of kids that they have a discipline report or they get suspended, and the parent comes in defensive, and I've had this happen the last few weeks, and parents like, well, my kid said that this happened. I'm like, well, this is not what the principal said. This is not what the teacher said. This is
hmm
not what the discipline thing says. Your kid's telling you something totally different or what their perspective is. We
right.
talked about perspective.
Yep,
So yeah. So that's yeah.
yeah. And what do you do at that point?
Yeah.
And here's the other thing: your husband surely doesn't want to believe his son did something like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't want to think his son grabbed his wife's boob. I mean, nobody wants to think that their kid would do anything wrong, much
Right.
less something inappropriate like that.
Right.
but it happens a lot more than is talked about.
Oh, I've seen a lot of reports on some of the kids that I work with. Yeah,
Oh,
they've
I'm sure.
Title
Yeah.
IX stuff is there's been some Title IX at the high school, big time.
Somewhat.
Title IX,
Oh,
meaning it's a sexual like sexual harassment or if somebody's claiming, but yeah, there's called Title IX harassment.
oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, like if there's
Yeah.
sexual stuff, yeah. So
Now, when you see your husband now, have you seen stepson?
no, I've seen him. There's a couple times like Christmas time. They came over my mom's house for a little bit. No, I'm sorry. I go back Thanksgiving time.
Mm-hmm.
They went to my aunt's house for a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him. No, I really don't see him that much. And he's a senior. He just turned 18. He's a senior in high school, and like I don't even think about him graduating. I mean, I know it sounds awful, but I'm just like, okay.
Well, you've had such a hard time with all
Yeah.
this, and for
Mhm.
you to think about that stuff is just a reminder of
Yeah.
everything. Now,
Yeah.
does he have plans for when he graduates? Do you know?
So, we talked about moving back in together at some point, and I said, well, I mean, he says that, well, he's going to be living in a dorm in college. He's going to move out once he graduates. And I'm like, for me, I have a hard time believing that because his social skills are, I don't, I, he's had a job, but he's never kept it. And I don't know if it's because he didn't want to work or if it was something that happened at work that Bobby would never tell me about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he would know. I don't
Oh,
want to
he's
say
not going to tell
like,
you anything negative about his
no,
kid.
no, 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 no. And it's like he doesn't like if there was like sexual harassment going on, because I'm thinking,
Yeah,
what if he's touching girls at work? If he's touching a person that's 30 years older than him, what's he doing to other girls that are his age?
right. Yeah.
So that'd be interesting if something like that happened, but I don't think he would tell me that. But he said he's going to live in a dorm locally, but I don't, kids go to college and then first semester they just can't. It's a hard time. I'm not trying to be negative, but
No, no, but a lot of kids, they go and that first semester, they're like, no, this
yeah,
isn't for me.
I can't
Or,
live. I gotta move back in. Just
right.
like your adult stepkids. I mean, I hear the podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yep. Yep. Well, Ethan, he's in there now. Um,
Sorry. No offense, but I just
but
18 is not a magic number, by the way. But yeah.
no, no. I think you posted something about that in the group or
Yep,
commented,
I
and it's
did.
not, it's not. I mean, let's see, the triplets will be 26 this year. Yeah.
Hmm.
He's right in there.
Well,
He's
how
all,
he's 28 or
it,
how old is
the oldest will be 28 this year, and the triplets are 26, and then Jackson will be 21.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I mean, even if he goes to college, what about summer breaks?
Good point. Well,
And I
he's going to
mean,
go to summer school. He's going to just try to get all this stuff in. And I mean, he's going to say anything that is going to convince me that he's not going to live back here.
yeah,
But, and I hate that. I hate saying, well, you don't want to live. I don't want to live with him. I mean, it's just,
right.
I feel like I got my mental health back. And I feel like I'm in a good place as far as living wise. And I don't want to
You got you
jeopardize
back.
them. Yes.
Yeah, because
But
you
I
you
know.
lost you.
Well, that's me, but I feel like somehow we need to get a relationship back, or if we need to. I mean, we've talked about do we need to part ways? I mean, I feel like we're just kind of we haven't. I think we need to do like a counseling and a lot of stuff before we even consider moving back in together.
Definitely,
It's
definitely. And you almost need to do a reset.
hmm yeah,
And I really
hard
am
reset.
proud of you for not just throwing your hands up on your
Hmm.
marriage.
Yeah.
Because that's the easy way, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people are going, oh, well, she's got it made now. She's got her own place. She sees him when she wants to. She's not dealing with the stepkid. But this isn't really easy either. I
No, it's
mean, it,
not.
it feels easy in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh.
But then when you have a crappy day at work and you just want somebody to hug you
Yeah.
and be like, I'm sorry you
Hmm.
had a bad day, you don't have
Hmm.
that.
My cat.
Yeah, your poor cat's gonna be squished to death.
Oh, he's clingy. I come home like a certain time. He's like on my lap. He's like, I missed you, mom. It's like, yeah, but I know you're, yeah, exactly. It's just like I have to text him to if I want to vent, or or vice versa. He has to text me, and
Well,
it's
it
been like
loses
a
that
week and a half.
personal connection, right?
It does. It really does. Yeah, there's no like, oh, it's perfect if you live apart, if you're a
Right.
partners, because I know there's been some controversy on that, but it's not perfect. It's just I think the situation just depends. I,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in for a week and a half, and I already miss him. Um,
Well, that's good. I mean, if
yeah,
if you go in a week and a half and you don't miss him, then yeah, I might be telling you something.
yeah. I don't miss coming home to like the chaos, like just there's
Right.
Will playing the video, or sorry, excuse me, my stepson playing the video games and
Yeah.
doing whatever he is. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You can walk through your living room without worrying about somebody streaking across.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. Not I don't feel like I'm on pins and needles
Yeah.
all the time anymore.
Right. Now, why has it been a week and a half? Why haven't y'all met for dinner or something?
Well, yeah, so it's just been a busy we had a busy week at work. This time of year, we're educators, obviously, I just said that, but we it's just his schedule. He's had to work late for parent teacher conferences, and I had my daughter last weekend, and I usually don't, whenever my daughter's with me, I don't, he's not here. We
Well, you
just
want to spend time with her.
Yeah. So we just kind of unofficially agreed that, if she's here, then he won't come over. And then during the week, it's been hard just for him to come over because from work, where he works at, just having to drive and all that navigation stuff. But it would be nice just to see him a little bit more than, you know, every other week.
Yeah, and maybe that's something that y'all need to do is say, okay, on Wednesday nights, we're going to meet halfway for dinner.
hmm Yeah.
And that way it's
Yeah.
not so long in between because
Yeah.
especially with you living apart, it's going to be easy for you to find all the good in living apart and not having to deal with relationship stuff. And
Absolutely.
then the next thing you know, instead of it being a week and a half since you've seen him, it's going to be 3 weeks because life gets in the
Yeah.
way.
Life gets in the way.
Or
Yeah.
it's going to be, well, he's got stuff to do at his house. I've got stuff to do at mine. We just can't do that right now. And,
hmm
before you know it, I mean, time goes by fast, right?
Yeah. He's got, and plus his son, I mean, his son's a senior, so it's like, and I mean, he's got some, I think he's like honor roll. I mean, he's got some awards and
That's
stuff. I
good.
mean, yeah, yeah. So, um, that stuff like that, I get, yeah. But yeah, I agree. We at least need to make one day, maybe go to dinner on a weekday or something and do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But
Yep.
yeah, it's just been, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. But
Menopause.
yeah, menopause brain,
Yeah.
not pregnancy brain. Now it's menopause brain. But yeah, when we do see each other, I mean, I feel like we need to spend as much time together, quality time. Like because he likes to cook a lot, and that's one thing I miss. He does cook me stuff and still brings me meals,
Oh.
and I don't like to do the dishes, and so he always did the dishes. So I
Hmm.
didn't never took it for granted, but
Yeah.
so I have to do, so there's a lot of things I'm doing on my own just because he's not there.
Right. But
Um,
and those things help you appreciate what he did
oh yeah,
more. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, does it feel weird that you're married and living apart? Because I mean, I know people that have split up and they try to redate their
hmm
partner, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like you're going out on a date with your ex-husband. Like, that it's got to feel strange sometimes. I mean, you've been doing this for a little
yeah,
while, so it probably
yeah,
feels less strange, but
yeah, it's a little bit. I think it's more strange to people outside, like my family.
mhm.
Like my mom, she's very supportive, but like my sister, for example, she's like, I don't know what. I mean, she's very judgy toward me, but we're twins.
Oh, that
I don't know
explains
if
it.
you're triplet stepkids are the same way with each other, but she doesn't get it. I mean, her husband took on, so my sister's late husband died 10 years ago, and my nephew was 6. And so she got remarried to her husband about 3 years later, 2 years later. Anyway, he
His
calls
dad.
him, yeah, he calls him dad. I'm like, so he doesn't get the dynamic where why couldn't my stepson just be your son, other son? They
Right.
don't get that.
Mm-mm.
It's like it doesn't work out that way. They don't see that. And that's what's
Right.
so fr so they look at it like I'm the I'm the instigator because I did want to live apart. But and I've told my sister that, this is what's been going on, but she still doesn't seem to understand why I
No, if
decided
you
to.
don't live it, you can't understand it.
Right. I just have to keep remind myself that she just doesn't never lived it before, so never been a
Right.
step parent either.
And
But I was
how old is her son now?
he's 16.
Okay. Because I was
Yeah.
gonna say, that child's liable to hit an older age and be like, quit trying to act like you're my dad. I mean, he can get,
Hmm.
things can happen, things change quickly.
Yeah. And that could be happening. I bet she won't tell me probably,
No,
but
she won't tell you
but
that.
I will tell you this though. She has a stepson that he was an adult when they first dated,
Hmm.
but he would stay there a couple times, and she talks about him like she cannot stand him. She's like, I
Oh.
don't wouldn't. And I was like thinking, well, so what happens if he moved in? What if he said, I'm going to move in one day? What are you going to do, Mary? Oh, and she's like, I'm just like, I'm waiting for that to happen because I'm like, you don't seem to understand what I'm going through. But there was time that she would post, she had pictures like in her upstairs room of so he has two sons, my brother-in-law. Does that make
Okay.
sense? So
Hmm.
she has two stepsons. But she had a picture of him up there, but the son that she doesn't like, there wasn't a picture of him up there. That's kind of interesting.
Ah,
So she left him out.
she understands it more than she's wanting to admit.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah.
She just wants you to be the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
that
yeah.
twin rivalry.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
that's another podcast
yeah.
too.
Well, it's funny. I saw something in the Facebook group earlier that I just skimmed the post, but it was a lady that apparently the dad got more time with the kid, or the kid's there full time now. And she's like, I would have never married him or been with him if I would have known that, or that
Yeah.
was going to happen. It can always happen.
Yeah.
It
Things are
just,
not set in
right,
stone.
right.
That's well, and that's what I was thinking too. Is like, he's just going to continue to go to his mom's every other weekend. I'm just going to have to suck it up for 12 days and
Mhm.
fine. But then it was like, I'd come home and he's still there. And I'm like, is he going to his mom's? No. And then he'd get mad because I was asking about it and
Uh-huh.
just,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And then I'd stay in my study and I'm just like feeling sorry for myself
Yeah.
for a while. But
Yeah.
oh,
When
but
all you really wanted was to feel like there was more of a relationship with you and your partner.
yes. Uh-huh. And I feel like I tried a lot.
Do you feel like your
And
partner puts more emphasis on your relationship now that y'all aren't together?
yeah, I think so. But, people could say, oh, we're doing so great, but you're not, you're doing great because you're not living together. So
Right.
you can't, it's like apples and oranges. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's
because,
like, I mean, you've got everything. You mentally, you're doing better. Just you're just doing better in general.
mhm,
But it didn't resolve your problems. You
right.
just removed yourself from
And
them.
I've heard you talk about that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as far as you go, I'm like, it'd be great if the kid could go off to college and y'all could move back in together, but I'd probably wait till he's like on his own. Like, you
And then
know,
come 28 years old.
yeah, yeah.
So, no offense, David.
Be like, yeah, I lived apart from my husband for 20 years and we're moving back in together. And then that's gonna be weird.
I've heard people even, I mean, it's weird, like, because I brought this up to a couple people that actually understand. And they said, yeah, I know somebody that does that. And I'm just like, really? Like, I've never really heard about it before, but apparently it happens a little bit more than people know about or talk
Right.
about.
Well, I wonder if it's surely it's not only step families.
Mhm.
Meaning, like, say, if David and I lived apart simply because I didn't want to drive an hour to work every day and he didn't
Right.
want to move,
Mhm.
or, the way he kept his house drove me crazy. He wasn't a clean freak and I was, just things like that.
Mhm.
Surely it's not just step families, but I think for step families, um, I want to say that's an out, but it's not really an out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
It's
know.
not.
Yeah, I get
Because,
it.
like
Yeah.
I said, I know. I mean, y'all were both on teacher salaries. It
Hmm.
can't be easy financially to all of a sudden have two mortgages or a rent, two rents, whatever. Now you've
Yeah.
got all these separate costs that you didn't have
Yeah.
before.
Well, luckily he has his brother, that, it's not like his landlord. It's not like
Right.
he's not going to kick him out. So I make more money he does just because I've been doing the job longer and I have more of I have a master's degree.
Hmm.
And my field pays more, but still, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, it was harder for a little bit until we, sold the house. So I got a little bit of money. We got a little bit of money from that, but still, yeah, I still have to watch. I still have to be frugal every month.
Yeah.
So
Well, how did you feel about selling the house? Because that's the house y'all got together, right?
yeah, it was a nightmare. So this is the other problem that happened. And I would question myself, did I do the right thing? And yada, yada, yada. But we put the house in the market back in April 2025.
Hmm.
And we thought we were going to sell it September. We had a buyer that wanted to, we were going to, had a plan to close it and stuff. And so and I ended up moving in. I was going to move out. I signed a lease to my new place because, obviously I wanted a house before all this happened. Well,
Right.
10 days before we closed, the buyer, due to their employment, they wouldn't get a loan approved. And so they had to back out of it. So,
So now you're paying a house payment, your rent, and he's paying his rent.
well, and so what we decided to do was he was going to move out his brothers and move back into the house while I would move back to my place that I signed because I wasn't going to back out my contract. It was going to cost me
Right.
thousands of dollars to do that. And he um, he had to move back. I felt bad for him, but he had to move back to the house. I mean, he had a few stuff that he didn't bring everything. He left a lot of his brothers, but yeah. And then finally, a few months later, we went through with the closing of another buyer. So,
Yeah.
and then so we were both in different places. So it was either me or him living at the house while one of us was living somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I started getting guilty, feeling guilty. I'm like, do I do the right thing? I feel like, he's having to do all the moving. I am. And is this worth it? I kept questioning my friend. I'm like,
And
am I
then in the
doing this
back of your
right?
head, you're like, but his little boy's the problem.
But then he's, boy, touch
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I do ask, I do occasionally ask, I said, well, so where's Will going? Like if he says he's going with his friends, which, okay, he's hanging out with friends. That's good. I
Oh,
mean, that's a
that's
good
real
thing.
good because that wasn't happening before.
It wasn't happening that much, no. But he seems to like he's going camping trips and stuff. And I was like, oh, where are they going? Well, that's cool. I hope they have fun. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. I acknowledge him, but he doesn't really acknowledge my daughter. He doesn't ask anything about her, but which,
That
you know,
bothers you.
a little bit, but it is what it is. I just kind of he wasn't really as fond with my daughter either. So,
Yeah. Well, and two, she wasn't
um,
as around as much.
right.
You were around his son all the time.
Hmm.
And then he was around your daughter less. And well, how does your daughter feel about all this?
Well, I've this is kind of where my guilty parent syndrome comes in, is that she'll say something and she's very mouthy like her dad. She'll say she don't sugarcoat it like you. You don't
Yeah.
sugarcoat, she don't sugarcoat stuff. And so it's funny, she'll say stuff that's just like what her dad would say. And I'm like, oh, is this coming from your dad? But anyway,
And she's like,
but she'll,
no.
yeah, but she'll say, oh, are you gonna break up with this guy too? She'll say, and it's like, it's not funny, but it's like, I don't know. I feel it's like she's 16. She's just has a boyfriend now, and she's like, "Well, are you gonna break up with this one like you do with my dad?" So I'm just
Jabs.
yeah, just jab. She just makes
Yeah,
jabs.
yeah, but you and your husband have been together a while. It's not like a new.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure her dad tells her stuff, like because I did initiate the divorce with her dad, so I'm sure her dad will say all this stuff to her. And
Hmm.
I mean, we're at a good place. Me and my ex-husband are, but still, there's just
He's the ex for a reason, right?
absolutely.
Well, I'm sure your daughter likes you having your own place.
Yeah, she does. She liked the house that we were at. That was the other thing. She liked that extra space. Not that our space is small, but she just liked the location, even though she was in a room half the time, when she was there anyway, but
Hmm.
teenager. But um, and plus she goes to school in that district too, and I think that's, she didn't want to leave that area. So I do
Yeah,
feel guilty in that aspect. But it's like 15 minutes away. It's not like we moved out of state or town or any of that. So
right.
her life is still the same. She still goes to the same school and still goes to her dad's. It's not like, yeah.
Is there a reason you chose the area you did, 30 minutes away? There.
Well, it's close to my work, and in the area that I am at now, I grew up in that area. I was born, so I was born in a smaller town, kind of the suburban area of Oklahoma
Hmm.
City. And so I was born there, I was raised there. It's just a familiarity of it. And then
Hmm.
I only work about 5 minutes away from my new place, so
Oh,
that's an added
wow.
bonus.
That's
So
definitely a bonus.
so it's nice. I don't have to waste gas money anymore. I can get gas every other week now instead of every
Yeah.
week. But
Get gas every other week when you go see your
yeah.
husband.
Touche. Or
Well,
yeah, if he could, yeah, he comes to my place.
there
That I
you
guess I don't
go.
know if you were going to ask that, but because people will say, "Well, do you go to his place or no?" He comes to my place. Yeah.
You have no desire to go to his place.
Well, because someone's always going to be there,
Hmm.
and
Have you
so I
been to
have.
his place at all?
No, I have not. Not because I didn't want to. It's
Right.
just I have no opportunity to do it. But I'm sure at some point I'll go over there.
Yeah. Is
But
it
he
a
doesn't
decent
like it.
place?
Yeah, it's decent. So it's funny because I'm 49 years old, and this is a 55 plus community area that I live in. So when I applied for to live here because it's a new place, I didn't realize when I went to my rental property, the rental people, they said, "Yeah, this is 55 plus. You might have to, if you want this, you might have to co-sign with like my mom or something."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Forget that." I was like, "I don't want to go through all that." But then they said, "Well, you know what? Your credit's good, so we're going to go ahead and prove you." And I'm like, "Okay." So
Really?
I live next to people in their 70s and 80s, and it's nice. But I live close. There's another neighborhood of surrounding it too, so it's not like I'm
Well, be
isolated or
careful, girl.
anything.
I've heard about those 55 and plus communities. They get off the chain sometimes.
So far, so good.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
that's good though, because I know a lot of places they're really strict with that. They
I
wouldn't,
know.
yeah. So you've got a calm place. You don't have to worry about a bunch of kids running around. That's great.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Well,
bet,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I bet you feel so much more at peace.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do. Well, the other small reason we were moving out was because we had neighbors that were, I think they were drug addicts. There was like 20 of them living. At one point, there was two of them living in the backyard with 10 different puppies. It was
In,
it
in your house
was
that y'all
awful.
sold?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So we had cars were coming in and out. Half the time there would be like five cop cars there. Somebody was getting arrested. Just a lot of drama next
Yeah.
door. And so
Wow.
yeah. So that was the first initial reason why we decided to sell our house. But then over time it was because of our situation.
So were y'all going to sell the house and move together somewhere, and then it just kind of, oh, we're just going to go separate?
I think we talked about it briefly, moving house somewhere together, but then after over time, it was just like, no, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when we started living separately.
Yeah. So What is one piece of advice that you would give a stepmom that is struggling in their blend?
Well, the advice I gave 4 years ago was you got to let go of some of that control. I have to practice what I preach sometimes. Um, um, Maybe communicate to your husband. I guess it depends if they have kids or if that, if it's a situation where she doesn't have kids or
Right. There's so
he
many
has kids.
nuances,
There's yeah,
right?
there's different situations you have to kind of air it out before it happens.
Hmm.
Um,
And that was key
I'm trying to.
before it happens.
Hmm.
You need to talk about all these things before it happens. For
Hmm.
example, you would have never thought to talk to your husband about what if your kid touches me inappropriately?
He'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Right. It'd be like,
Yeah,
why would you even say that? Say, well, I mean, really, this is a discussion that should be had.
yeah,
And, what about who's going to carry the kid on car insurance? I mean, just all these things that could come up
yes.
and be problems. Go ahead and find out the answers to them and figure it out before it happens. Because when you're in the middle of it, you
Hmm.
can't figure it out open-mindedly.
Hmm. Yeah, and even like finances stuff, like you're talking about the car insurance and stuff. But
And mac and
I know,
cheese.
yeah, mac and cheese. Make sure it's the right one. And it's funny because I do that too for $1. So I have the grocery stores. Sometimes they'll mark down things and they'll be like
Mhm.
two for $1 for that. Well, there's these mac and cheese cups that I bought like a big bundle of them, and I actually gave my stepson some on his stocking for Christmas.
Oh,
So, no, yeah, yeah, ironic, but
yeah.
yeah. And then I'll give some to my husband, but knowing that my husband's going to give it to my stepson.
Right.
So, so there's still that mac and cheese lingering around, but
The mac and cheese.
yeah, not the bathtub, but you know.
Yep. That's so
Um,
funny.
I know, golly. But yeah, I think like we talked about this before, it's like you knew what you were getting into. It still just bothers me when people say that because do you know when you sign up for a job, did you think having a master's degree in psychology I was gonna have to try to fix the copy machine?
Right.
I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, no one, I didn't sign up
Yep.
to try to fix the printer.
Well, I
Does that
love
make it?
using
Yeah.
work analogies because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, say I'm hired as a buyer for a company.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not going to go plop my butt in the CEO's chair and act like I run the place, right? So you
Right.
stay in your lane. But
Hmm.
also, if your boss comes to you and says, hey, I need you to do this, and if it's not in that buyer role, you're not going to go, not my job. You
Hmm.
can, but
Hmm.
you're not going to have a job.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have to be flexible. And so it's so much any job that anybody's ever had, you end up doing stuff that you didn't plan on doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing as a stepmom.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know what you're signing up for. You
Yeah.
can't. They're people. Everybody's different. There's emotions and hormones and all that crap going on and
Right.
life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I did do a Facebook post about this though, but one thing that bothered me on Thanksgiving was my second cousin who just got married. She has no kids. Her husband has two kids. And she's always making these, and I know Facebook is for what it's worth, but she's always like, "Oh, I just love these kids," and having pictures of them together, and now
Like,
they're
oh,
teenagers now. I know they're well, she didn't say that, but she's like, she's just, it's like it's they're buddies and they're teenagers, and so they came over they live in Tennessee, but they came, to my aunt's house to visit, and she's just like holding hands with the stepdaughter, and sitting with her, um, and it's just like, and I talked to one of the other kids, and I said, "Well, where's your mom at?" Because I asked about the mom. I'm just curious to see how this gonna dynamic is. And he said, "Yeah, we really don't talk to our mom anymore." And I'm just like, so I'm thinking, not only are they probably staying over there all the time, but my cousin's having this nice relationship with these kids, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, did I fail? I mean, I was so depressed when I got home because I was like, did I fail? Did I fail in this relationship? Did I fail?
No.
What is she doing that I'm not doing? I've started to do the comparison game and
What she's
mental
doing that
game.
you're not doing was she didn't have a kid of her own.
Yeah, true.
She doesn't have the bio mom in the picture because your bio
Mhm.
mom was lingering, right?
Yeah.
She was there. She
And I
just
don't, yeah, I
wasn't
don't, yeah,
active, right?
yeah.
But how long has your cousin been married to?
I just got married about a year and a half ago.
There's your answer.
They've
Forget
been
everything else I said, but there's your
together.
answer.
Right.
And these kids are how old?
They're teenagers.
Okay.
So I'm
All
like,
right. Give her. All right. Mark it down. Remember what we
yeah,
always said? You're 2 to 3.
okay. I
She's
can,
having butterflies and unicorns right now, but she's gonna have the donkeys and tornadoes at some point.
and like you say, you asked me, you have actually told me this whenever my husband and I lived together like 2 years before we got married. And you even said it is different when you get married. And I'm like, at first I was like, ah, and then guess what? 2 years,
Yep.
3 years.
It's a reset. It's a
Yeah,
complete reset.
everything changed.
Yep. And talking about comparing your cousin to your life or whatever,
Hmm.
it's funny because Ethan and I were just talking about this earlier. I said, yeah, I was out there washing my car one day and, I'd had my Honda forever. And I was like, I love my little Honda. It's been good to me and just, cleaning it up. And I go to my friend Christy's to get my hair cut and I pull up beside her new Equus
Hmm.
or whatever it is. And I'm like, my
Yeah,
car looks like a piece of doo doo. And my car didn't look like a piece of doo doo till I put it beside that one. So
yeah,
stop putting yourself beside other people.
yeah.
Don't, the compare game will kill you every time.
Well, and I grew up with a twin sister, so that's
Constant
yeah, it's
comparison.
very 49 years of having to do that. It's very
Yep.
very tiring, exhausting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
But too, that your cousin, she could be holding that little girl's hand and everything's great, and then they get in the car and that little girl's like, I can't stand her touching me. I mean, you never
yeah.
know. People put on a good show.
Yeah, that's true. And my mom even told me that. 'Cause I
The
told her I was
worst
just
thing we
it's
can do
bothering
is
me.
compare ourselves to somebody else. Find your happiness irrelevant to somebody else's.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, it has been great to see you. It's been a
Well, thanks,
while.
Lori. I
You
don't know
look
if I
good.
provided, thank you. I don't know if I provided any good answers about a partnering, but
You
this is kind of
did.
my
You
experience right
did.
now.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing it how long? Almost a year?
9 months, yeah, 9 months.
Okay. So you're coming up on close to a year. And I mean, I know even though David and I don't have those struggles, sometimes I miss being by myself. Because
Oh
you're not
yeah.
having to clean up after anybody. You're not
Oh
having to
yeah.
worry about if he had a bad day. It's just lovely Laura land.
Yes, with my cat.
Yeah.
When my daughter's not around, with my
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I'm proud of you for not just saying we just need to get divorced
Thank
because that
you.
would have been the easy thing to do. And
Yeah.
you're right. Y'all got some things to work through before y'all do move back in together. And one of those is that stepson can't be in the house.
Yeah. And granted, there's a couple times I've threw out paper, like not through papers, but like, oh, I'm getting some papers at the courthouse this
Hmm.
evening, out
Yeah.
of anger, but
Yeah.
it never carried through that. So
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad because you've worked hard for this.
yeah.
And I know he loves you just from some of the things that you've shared with us over the years. And I know you love him, obviously, or you
Hmm.
wouldn't have put up with any of this, right? You would
Right.
have killed somebody by throwing mac and cheese at him or something
Yeah.
by this point.
Really hot mac and cheese.
Yeah, yeah. But relationships aren't easy,
No.
but keep working on them. And I'm glad you're not
Anybody that says
drinking
that,
as
I'm
much
gonna, yeah. Mhm. No,
because drinking
just
didn't
take
help
care.
it.
Oh no, it just exacerbates the problem.
Yeah.
But working out and going to the gym and taking care of, myself, very important this
And
time.
looking great.
Well, thank you.
Well, stay in touch with us and let us know what happens.
Okay. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.